What would you like to ask Andrea?
Amanda and I had a thing in common with our middle kiddo being like so full of life that it is hard to handle sometimes. How do you pull from an empty tank to respond appropriately when the patience is done and there is no more for us to give and we still have to do it and we know we do and we want to? Like, what do we do there?
The first thing that comes to mind is there's always an exploration that we can do to consider proactively. How do we prevent an empty tank?
Mm-hmm.
And then reactively or responsively.
Mm-hmm.
So which one do you want to talk about?
Reactive.
Okay. So what do you do now?
I put myself in timeouts sometimes. So just to get context for people, I'm a single parent with 3 kids, 3 boys, 9, 7, and 5. And if it's just like too much and I'm going to explode and yell and I don't want to do that, I'll be like, all right, I'm taking 5, guys. I couldn't do that 2 years ago, but now I can say, all right, I'm going. There have been times where I've had to go like lock myself in the bathroom because they keep following and they won't stop and the things are happening. That's what I know I need to just have a minute to catch my breath and whatnot. But that's not like sustainable for them also, right? Because then they're in this pattern of we can keep doing what we want to do because it's on the other person to go calm themselves down to react on, right? And it's like, no, it's both, right?
So does that help you? Does the Take 5 help?
Sometimes. And then it often gets disrupted because then all of a sudden somebody's screaming like they're in pain. So then it's like not helpful.
What are the moments that you're taking 5? Like what's happening? Is it sibling rivalry? Is it hungry kids before dinner?
It's always worse on the transition day, right? When they come back from dad's house.
Yeah.
Sibling rivalry for sure. And then one kiddo who's big feelings and big reactions set everybody else on edge. So everybody's tension is up from any number of things that could have set Reese off.
Mm-hmm. So some of these are predictable and some are not.
Mm-hmm.
Right. On those transition days, I get curious, what do I do to refresh the day before and the day of the kids coming back from their dad's house?
Yeah.
I have a sister and she's like, how are you feeling so grounded? Well, first of all, I'm not a single parent. But second of all, I unplug. And she's like, I watch shows to recharge. I'm like, that's different. That's not actually recharging if you're sitting down watching shows. So I get curious about what actually refreshes you, not just on the surface level of getting to zone out.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thought to that?
I think I can honestly say that I don't know. And when it comes to me as an individual, the thing that doesn't happen is the self-care.
Yeah. Why do you suppose that is?
It's time and prioritization, right? So there is very limited time when it's just me. I have them more than 50% of the time. And then I love working at the council and my team, but I'm getting calls all day long into the evening about stuff that's happening or this investigation needs to happen. When I do have time, it's like thinking about my friends or family first and what they need and checking in with them instead of with myself.
Yeah. So if you didn't check in with family and friends,
Yeah,
what would you do that would feel good?
I think it's been so long that I honestly don't know.
What would it feel like to let everybody know that you're going to turn your phone off for a 4-hour time block the day before the kids come home from their dad's? Maybe you put it on sleep and you let their dad know that he's going to have to contact you twice to get through sleep.
Yeah, I would love to try that.
If somebody has a reactive strategy that works for them, please do type it in the chat box right now. To support Andrea, what do you do that works when you have an empty take? What helps your kid listen, or what helps you not totally lose your crap? We very quickly went to proactive, even though we want to know what to do in the moment. And I think this is going to be a surprise for anybody who finishes Mad to Glad Blueprint and gets to these community calls, is it's going to be a lot about the proactive. Andrea, you can do positive discipline and label your kids' emotions and sugar-free, gluten-free, corn-free, dairy-free diet, homemade meals. You can do all of that. But if it's all focused on other people
Mhm.
and your bucket is empty, I could give you one more thing to do and it's not going to work. What would happen if you take 5 proactively when your kids are in the room? So instead of like, I'm losing it, I'm going to go take 5. I'd be curious if you explore, when could I take 5 today? Just because I want to. When
Mhm.
can I step away from, and sure, go hide in the bathroom or lay like a starfish on the floor, which was my favorite thing when my brain was overwhelmed. All right. So looking at comments here, can you find something relaxing and forgive yourself for not being able to play one-on-one when you're a single parent? What are the things that we need to let go of? I like to first let go of dishes and homemade food and pick up the rotisserie chicken and salad from the grocery store. Finding the inner child and turning it into fun moments, although that's really tough when you're on empty. So knowing that's a strategy that works when you're above the empty line. Following up with an apology and a commitment to try better. And Leah, this was your thing, right? Like with tone, like how do I show up with tone? So this is a relevant question that Andrea had asked. Deep breaths, trying to recenter before moving on. Yeah, great. In closing out our who you want to be conversation today, what would be a small step that you're willing to take in order to become more of the parent you want to be? Thank you so much for joining me.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.